Hello, this is how to install the RDP Remote Desktop Protocol Server xrdp on Arch Linux. I have just installed the latest version of Arch Linux using Arch install, the text user interface installer wizard. I have rebooted the machine. Now I'm at the desktop manager SDDM. In here I'm going to select Plasma X11 just to make sure that it has been installed correctly, because xrdp will use X11. So I have installed the KD Plasma Desktop option. Let's see if we're inside the X11 session. Yes, we are. I want to have the OpenSSH server enabled. Let's see how we do that. So the OpenSSH server is installed. The package for it is installed. We want to enable the service now. Systemctl enable now SSHD. From this point, we will try to disconnect from the virtualization software Virt Manager. You cannot connect to the virtual machine using a remote desktop protocol client if you're connected to the virtual machine in graphical user interface mode. So first of all, you'll need to log out from the Arch Linux machine in graphical user interface mode, but you can be connected using SSH, which we're going to do right now. Okay, now let's look at my notes. So nmariusp.github.io/rdp.html. I have installation instructions for various operating systems, not only Linux. This is the chapter for Arch Linux installed using Arch install. This is the case. And I have configured the option desktop KD in the Arch installer. We want to install two packages. One is xrdp and the other one is xorg xrdp, which are not available in the Arch Linux package repositories, but are instead available in AUR, Arch User Repository. We could either install both using the instructions on how to install software from AUR using make package and git clone, or we could get from AUR a AUR manager such as YAY, build that using the instructions on how to build packages from AUR, and then using the build YAY we can build two more AUR packages, the xrdp and xorg xrdp. Let's see if this works. So install the Go toolchain and compiler. we git clone, where is it? We did not install git yet. Okay, let's git clone now. There's just a package build file in there. We're going to use it to make a .pkg.tar.zst Alpine Linux binary package. YAY is written in Go programming language. And now in the current directory, we have the Arch Linux binary package, which is this one. Let's see if the instructions work. So it also tries to install YAY debug. Let's not do that. Okay, so now the package YAY is installed, and we can use it to install the two packages from AOR. First one is xrdp, and the other one is xrdp. Very recent, from this month. Let's see what options are we provided in here. We want to install the package one, which is AUR xrdp. And we're also given the option of installing xorg xrdp, which is 5. So we could install them one by one or both. If I provide 1 space 5, both xrdp and xorg xrdp are going to be installed right now. One just installs xrdp. Package is to clean build. Uppercase A. Diffs to show none. Remove make dependencies after install. No. Proceed with installation. Okay, installs Fuse and other binary packages from the Arch Linux official package repositories. This is the configure step. GNU configure. Autoreconf. And GNU make for building. It has built, run tests, run make install. and it's going to install the build packages. Let's do that. Next up, the other AUR packages, the other AUR package. So there are 3 packages from AUR in total. YAY, which is an AUR manager, package manager, xrdp and xorg xrdp. Packages to install AUR xorg xrdp, which is 1. Packages to build all. Diffs to show none. Remove the dependencies after install, no. Import, yes. Develop packages for xorg, yes. Okay, it got the source code release tarball. It has run the GNU configure step. Now it's running GNU make. This is the GNU make install step. 2 binary packages have been created. Proceed with installation. Yes. And now we should have the needed software for the RDP server, remote desktop protocol server xrdp installed on the Arch Linux machine. It's time to enable it, the systemd service. Let's look at the status. It's running. And now we'll need to have a configuration file such that when we connect to the RDP server knows how to start the X server. Let's configure such that even remote users can connect to the xorg server. See if we have nano in here. And we need to be super user. This file does not exist. It's going to be created. The content should be this one. 1 trailing new line, Control X, Y, Enter. And now we'll run this command to make sure everything works okay. So should the file exist and should have the content, this one. This was run as the Linux user root, and now we're running as the user which is named administrator, which can use sudo to become the user root. This file does not exist yet. Let's create it. Let's see if these things exist. So /usr lib plasma dbus run session if needed continues to exist. Alt Control X, whatever. How do we clean up? Alt backspace. Nano. We're going to create the xorg configuration file /.x init_rc with just 2 lines in there. Trailing new line, Control X, Y, Enter. And let's reboot. We'll wait for the Arch Linux machine to finish starting. And then we want to connect to the Arch Linux machine using an RDP client. The RDP client that I prefer to use from a Linux operating system is xrdp. Let's use a new tab in the terminal console. The IP address ends with 183. Control left to jump a word. "183" and press enter. Says that I did not connect yet to this machine. Trust the certificate, which is self-signed, yes. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, so it took a while to start the KDE Plasma desktop panel. And now we're connected using the best possible protocol in graphical user interface mode to the Arch Linux machine. The protocol is RDP. The second best option after RDP is the Tiger VNC server and client. The advantages of using the RDP protocol to connect to the Arch Linux machine instead of, for instance, using the virtualization software graphical console is that if we resize the Word Manager graphical console, it will not resize the Arch Linux X11 SDDM Plasma KDE Plasma resolution. Whereas when I resize the RDP client, that tells the Arch Linux machine to change its resolution, which it does. So no matter which size I give to the free RDP client window, that will communicate over RDP with the Arch Linux machine such that the Arch Linux machine changes its resolution. Very important feature, this one. This allows me, for instance, to use a remote machine or a virtual machine to which I'm connected via the RDP protocol and not use the web browser inside this RDP connection. There's no need. I can use the web browser on the host machine, on the RDP client machine. No need to use another web browser in the RDP server machine because copy paste of text works, and we can prove that. So from the RDP client to the RDP server, from the RDP server to the RDP client. Copy paste of plain text works correctly. And then additionally, besides the fact that I can resize the RDP client window and that will resize the Arch Linux machine, and the fact that I can copy paste plain text from the RDP client to the RDP server and back, I have also forwarding of sound from the RDP server to the RDP client. So for instance, I can play YouTube videos on the Arch Linux machine, and then I have the best possible performance, which is network LAN, which says that the RDP protocol should use the best possible speed, and then the best possible features inside of the RDP connection. So video remote effects and graphical effects. The RDP connection is extremely snappy. Transparency works. I can install a web browser inside Arch Linux, and I can play back a YouTube video, and the playback will be smooth enough. So this is it. This is how you install in an Alpine Linux operating system, which has KD Plasma installed using the official Arch install installer. How you install the Remote Desktop Protocol server xrdp. And then how you connect to it. From Linux, I would use xFreeRDP or WL-FreeRDP, the FreeRDP client. From a Windows machine, I would use either the built-in default Remote Desktop Protocol client that's installed in Windows, and then I would probably graduate and use the real deal, which is the sysinternal suite RDC man. Thank you.